We are recording, so hello everybody. We are the SequencerTalk, and we are here with Kiviak Instruments and Fred's Lab.
Hi everyone.
Hey. On my left is the wonderful Mugulator, and my name is Dean Freud. And yeah, we're here live at Superbooth, recording a little video podcast and talking about again the Wofi synthesizer and the Manatee.
Why not? We are there for this.
Yes. So happy to have you here. And
Thank you.
How's it going so far for you?
It's going super great. We had a lot of people on the booth yesterday. Very interesting people. And yes, I'm very confident about the future. So that's nice.
Nice. And you're happy because you're inside. We are here sitting in the burning hot morning sun.
I'm so happy to be here. Yeah.
Sweating our ass off.
Yeah.
So what has changed between now and that we talked the first time?
Yeah.
Is there any changes?
Yeah, we have worked a lot on the firmware since the last time. So we are fixing some issues, implementing new features on the Wofi, and we start the work on the cloud platform, the My Wofi platform. And I think we will be ready by the end of summer with the whole product line, like the Wofi, the My Wofi cloud platform, and the Textura plugin.
Mm-hmm.
So everything should be ready before the Kickstarter in October.
So for everybody who doesn't know about anything about the Wofi, what is the Wofi? I think you.
Wofi is a sample-based synthesizer.
No. Zap. Yeah.
Okay, you're online.
Okay.
It's actually a sampler who doesn't know. If there's anyone who doesn't know about the machine itself, it's a sampler, and it's a hands-on performance sampler, and it has granular moments and granular
effects.
And since the last time we met, you really had some things to do. And could you tell us about what has changed?
So we have worked on the optimization on the audio engine. Like now we have 10 voices of polyphony, and it works perfectly. We worked on the sequencer. We had more feature on the sequencer, like you can change the start and stop point on the sequencer. You can deactivate some steps. We have worked on the recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you just
holding it down.
You just have to click one button and the steps, and you can activate or deactivate. When you click on the tab button, you can choose the start and ending point of the sequence. And we have implemented the tab tempo. So now it's working. What else?
Well, making the machine very fun, because we had like all the ground covered, like Romain explained, like sound engine is going well. All the modules are there, and now like we are working on making it a real musical instrument so that you can enjoy your time, like working with the user interface, adding all the options which are needed as a musician, and making every interaction with the machine fluid. Because this machine is based on a concept which is actually very simple, like using this sample as source material, but it was done more in a way of like an analog synthesizer, meaning like one knob, one function, very immediate access, and we are like actually putting all the work to make it like super
we want
easy.
to keep it simple. The goal is to have the most simplest workflow ever. Like one button, one function, as Fred mentioned, but we want to keep it simple. And the UI on the display.
The UI on the display is really cool.
Thank you.
So it has a little
one thing. You are both working together. You wear the same shirt.
That's right.
You sort of share of instruments. It looks like that you really both like hands-on instruments.
Yes.
I
think maybe we can explain how it starts. 3 years ago, when I started Kiviak Instruments, I was searching for someone that can help me to develop the product. So I contact Fred, and at this time I say, okay, you don't know me. I start a new company. I'm looking for a good engineer. And the first answer of Fred, it was something like, go fuck yourself. But
I like to try my clients before, make sure that the collaboration will last.
this way? Okay.
So in the middle.
Just come here.
Okay. Be careful with the wires.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit better.
Is it okay this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think no.
So, yes, the first answer was not so positive, but I had to explain, Fred, okay, I'm a serious guy. It's a serious project. And then we start working together. So we start with Fred. Fred has conceived the whole hardware and the whole audio engine for us. Then I recruit people at Kiviak Instruments. So now we have Olivier that is leading all the development at Kiviak, but they work together with Fred. And that's the way we start.
Yeah, well, for me it started before, so maybe I have a little bit of backstory that I didn't told you. Maybe, I think we talked about it. I'm not so sure, but then it's a bit exclusive for here. Well, I always wanted to do a sampler, and I tried to find some people which could actually push the project and make sure that they are really to handle this, because this kind of machines, they are not really easy to do. It's not just about like the sound engine. It's like also getting like the manufacturing, getting the branding of the product, making people interested about it. And so far, I pitched the idea to different people, and the reception was also not so good, because like they were saying like, nah, nobody needs the sampler today. You can do it in software. There's no need for that, basically. And well, Romain contacted me, and it was a bit Christmas for me, because like I was like looking for these people to do that, and someone comes and say like, well, I really want to make a sampler. I said like, what a change. For once, like somebody is really into it. So we had like, yeah, beginning a bit rough, because like you want to know, you work with somebody which is real, which and Romain is exactly that, and his company is exactly in this direction. So we get a real instrument which is made for musicians.
One little background for everyone. You are both French, but you live in Bonn, which is in Germany, the former capital, and you still live in France.
Yeah.
How did you come together, actually?
You know, there is something called internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
That's very control. To be honest, I think we start by a meeting.
Yes.
Fred come to France to meet us, and we start with a big team meeting with Emric. Emric was the industrial designer that made the design of Wofi, and with Clément. Clément is my brother, and we work together. Clément is a developer, so we start with this little team. And then the team is growing with Olivier, Thibaut, all the Adrian, all the people that we work together. But we start, yes, with a meeting in France. Then we come to Bonn with Clément.
Yeah, and that was
Fred's place.
That was an extremely interesting experience.
Yeah.
Because they came over to visit, and they didn't stay just one day. Like you were there like nearly a week, and they came to my office, and I made them sit in front of the computer, like especially to work on the ergonomics of the sequencer. And we
got the sequencer together.
We were coding the thing together, like really spending the time checking out like different function, how it should interact, because there are things about instruments which, even if we say it's quite simple, actually there's a lot of thoughts which are put behind, and the ergonomics on the sequencer is something that you really want to get it right. And for that, you can write so many specification documents you want, PowerPoint, having online
It
meeting,
was simpler to do it live together.
sitting together, and it was great
Is
experience.
it like two nerds meet and let's make a sequencer, or how does it work?
It's like
I was sitting like this with Fred. Fred was in front of his computer and say, okay, how do you want this feature to work? I explained, okay, I want to do this, okay. And he was coding like this. My brother was sit on the other side and saying, are you sure you want to use this function? Yeah, I can do it like this. And we during 3 days in a row.
Kind of live coding.
Yeah.
Well, it was a very close collaboration, because at the time the office was like 7 meters, 7 square meters. So like we were really focused the whole days we were there. So like awesome experience.
Yeah, it's a good memory for me. So it was really nice to do this. So we started like this. Then we are doing meetings regularly over the phone or over the internet. Then we meet sometimes. And when I recruit new people for the team, they work closely with Fred. And now I think we have one meeting a week with Olivier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Every Tuesday.
And we can talk a bit about the development of this project, because I think it's an interesting story. Because like the project started right before Corona, and then most of the prototyping was done during the Corona period, and that was a challenge. That's really a challenge. We had like quite some difficulties to get the prototype done, and working with the suppliers also. Like it was quite tough.
It was not so easy at this time, to find all the chips, and everything was shut down, so it was kind of complicated. That's why it took a little more time than expected, but hopefully it's done, and now we have machines that are working. But at this time, it was kind of complicated.
Yeah, and you were also really precise with your needs, and you had a clear idea what you wanted. So like we had to make also custom parts, even from the user interface point. We had to like rework some design from switches. So we went quite deep in the details, huh?
Yeah, because we use like toggle switch on the machine, and we have to make specific toggle switch with the supplier of this part, because the one on the market doesn't fit our design. So it took some time to make sure.
A lot of companies design their own knobs. So
Sure. Yeah, we do the same things. And for the knobs, we choose the type of grease in the potentiometer to have the right density of grease and the right filling. Because I don't like when it's too I don't know the word.
If it's too loose or
when the filling is not okay,
too much force to move it right.
You have to have the good torque, on the potential.
Exactly. So one other thing is about the Wofi, we have different sample engines in there, and this is something I want to make clear. This is a sampling keyboard that has different heritage samplers in there. So you have, I saw the old Emu stuff, the old Akai stuff, the old Roller.
I don't know these brands. Are you sure?
I saw something you called.
We have one called the Japanese 12 bits. Yes.
Yeah.
We have the American 12 bits.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Yes. No. We have all the good vintage sampler that we try to emulate. Maybe Fred can explain more technically.
Well, basically, we are both users from samplers, so these machines are some we used ourselves. So
is it like in the early days of sampling, it was really a different kind of sound, how they were transposing and the algorithm behind transposing a sample?
Yeah, that's the basic idea, because this machine was not meant to be like a completely clean resampler. We wanted to add character to the sound at every stages of the machine, because the idea is like we take some raw material, we color it as we wish, and for that we have to have the models from early resampling to something which is more modern. So we have them all there, and we spend the time to actually check against the originals.
Yeah, and the goal is to, as Fred mentioned, is to have some color on the sound. And we have a glitch button on the Wofi, so you can add some glitches. And it could be very clean or super noisy. And to be honest, I prefer the way when it's super noisy.
Yeah.
I remember yesterday we stand there and I thought, yes, it gets dirtier. It's completely fucked up. Okay, now we're talking. And I met a guy. We talked about sound. Vincent yesterday. I talked with Vincent.
Italo.
Yeah.
And
he was in the booth yesterday.
Yeah.
And we talked about.
He will come back.
He said, "Yeah, this is really, really cool. We will see if it works out in the mix right, because sometimes you have emulated stuff that sits over the top a little bit, but I have the hopes that's not so crazy over the top in terms of if you have the old samplers and the old stuff, it sits sometimes a little bit better in the mix. It's easier to handle than the overthrown high fidelity stuff nowadays. Sometimes.
You know why? Because when you have too much frequencies, it's much harder to mix.
Exactly.
Because it masks all the other frequencies. And when you use vintage sampler, you have a more reduced bandwidth. That's why.
Exactly.
And
but-
and it sounds more usual because your ears knows the sound of this machine. And for 30 years ago, it's more usual.
Yeah, some of us asked ourselves when Depeche Mode released their first sampling-based stuff, how do they do this sound? And it's
Emulator.
actually the emulator kind of sound, and that's has a lot to do with how it works out in the machine. The first ones were just 39 kilohertz of sampling rate, but also a different kind of algorithm playing.
You know, it's the same thing when you are listening like the first Peter Gabriel album or stuff like that with the Fairlight.
Fairlight,
It's very specific sounds.
Mhm.
You cannot do it with another machine like this and you have the sound, but you have the workflow too. On the Fairlight, the workflow was very specific, and it could influence the way you're doing music with the machine. And I think with the Wofi is the same thing. That's why we could keep the workflow very simple and easy, because it could influence the way you're doing music. I think you have the sound, but the workflow is almost as important as the sound.
I think too, yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the glitch stuff, because we talked about the sampling opportunities in terms of the old samplers. I have to talk a little bit louder, or?
Yeah.
Because I have to
Just kiss the
headphones
mic.
on, so okay.
Yeah, kiss the mic.
So I have to apologize. So we talked about the old sampling bit rates and stuff and emulations. Let's talk a little bit more about glitch stuff and granular effect.
Okay.
Glitch stuff. How can we picture that for people that doesn't heard it before?
Could you please explain the glitch, and I will do the textural part.
Well, that's interesting question. Like, without too much revealing, because we need to keep also our like
that's why I'm asking you to explain.
our secret sauce. Well, maybe it would be better that you actually explain, because since I'm too deep in the algorithm, I know exactly how it works.
Okay.
But I will do it now.
No, but okay, the glitch adds some kind of noise and default. You know, when you have some errors because of the algorithm, and we try to reproduce this. So in terms of sounds, it sounds like more noisy. So you switch from the cleanest version possible of this machine to the noisiest version possible.
Yeah, we have
think-
a real gradient there.
Yeah.
But in the Wofi, there's like so many ways you can actually make the sound glitchy, and it's not just about this glitch parameter. Like we have at several stages of the chain.
You
a
can
way
do it with
to
the
have
stretch, because we have the stretch and the pitch, and the stretch could be very noisy too and very interesting, especially over the voice. When you sample your voice with the embedded microphone, and when you're using stretch, it could be very, very interesting. And yes, the glitch part is not the simple part to explain, but I'm sorry. But maybe we can explain the texturer part. So texturer is granular effects. It's
Which is
between
also available as a plugin.
Yeah, the texturer will be available at the same time on VST and audio units as a plugin. So the texturer is a granular effects. On the signal flow on the Wofi is at the end. After the voice merging, we have the texturer, and the texturer is granular between a shimmer and granular synthesis, something like this. So I don't want to reveal how it works specifically, but it sounds like a shimmer, and you can choose the size of the grain, the density, the depth. So the depth is a kind of wet dry, and you can choose also a parameter named chaos is the randomness. So less chaos is first in, first out. More chaos, randomness.
Yeah, cool. So this is the Wofi, more or less. So you have the cartridge stuff we talked about in our first talk about. I think nowadays the people were a little bit hesitant about the whole thing with the cloud. So you have a
I have
cloud
to explain.
and it's
Yeah.
completely easy.
Yeah.
You can choose if you like it. You can completely turn off all the Wi-Fi and stuff.
I think I have to explain. So yes, the Wofi is a connected machine. So we have Wi-Fi chipset embedded in the machine. But the cloud is more, it's not mandatory at all. So you can use the machine without the cloud. You can store locally your sample. We have memory card in the machine. We have internal storage in the machine. You can upload your sample using USB, using MIDI CZX or whatever you want. But with the cloud, you will have more feature. And
It's super.
oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
If we don't fly, because
So everybody
You look so nice.
who is wondering, because we are completely sunburned from yesterday, and it's so ridiculous.
But you're hiding.
I'm hiding everything, so maybe I can put this.
I have to turn a bit. Yeah, no?
And I look completely. Now I look completely ridiculous. But it's really, really good because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to give
Let's
you
come
some-
back to the.
Yeah, it's the cloud platform. So the cloud platform is not mandatory. The cloud platform name will be My Wofi. And the goal of the cloud platform is to add more feature to the Wofi. And the main feature is the preset/sample sharing. So you can use it directly on the machine. You can share your sample if you want. You have no obligation to do this. You can share your sample with other people, or you can back up your sample on the cloud platform, and it will be totally free for the community edition. So when you buy Wofi, you have full access on the cloud platform for free.
Maybe we should say, because that's maybe the biggest confusion. You can just upload it yourself, and no one has access to your songs.
Oh, yes.
And you can also share it with your
You have the choice.
colleagues
Yeah.
and your band members.
It works
but
exactly
no
like
one
a social
else.
media. It works exactly like a social media. You can choose if you want to share something or not. And when you share, you can share to one group of people, or everybody, like a public. But it's no mandatory at all to share anything. You can keep it for you and use it as a backup platform. And the goal
Don't
is to
be afraid of that, because there has been a lot of feedback from you, and that was really one of the most posted things.
Talked about.
I am afraid of that.
No, don't be
sounds
afraid.
uploaded to everyone.
No.
And how
Don't
do
be
you-
afraid
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
The privacy will be kept. So no worries about that. And if you are really afraid about the cloud, you just have to click on the Wi-Fi button. It shuts down the Wi-Fi and no more internet connection.
It's
And done.
hardwired Wi-Fi, so
Kind
if
of,
you
yes.
flip the switch, it's completely turned off.
No more signal, no more
physically.
nothing. Yeah.
So this is one thing, and
So if you don't
to
like
say,
technology-
Yeah. If you want to live in the 80s, you can.
the technology is already there
Yeah.
because nobody knows about that. But Kiviak has also a cloud-based thing
Business.
going on,
Yeah.
business. So the technique is there, and it's not something you
No, we
rely on,
are not
on the other things. You
There
have
is
it
no improvisation.
completely on your own thing.
Yeah, Kiviak Instruments is the sister company of Kiviak Technologies, and Kiviak Technologies is my company too, and we are cloud specialists. Where I'm working on it since the last 25 years. So yes, we know what we do, and we know all the privacy things and stuff like that. So no worries about the cloud. And if you don't want to use it, don't use it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we will have a lot of really cool features on the platform. Like you can use it, the cloud platform, with the machine, but you can use it also with a web platform. So you can preview your sounds, edit your preset on the cloud platform on the web page.
Ah, that's good.
And we
There's
will have
one thing we might need to mention. It's like you have 100 slots of your own samples
you can do more, to be honest.
internally.
We have 100 megs
Yeah.
of storage in the machine, so it's 18 minutes of audio playback.
Yeah.
But you can add memory cards. So in the box with the machine, we will give you one memory card with 100 megs too. Then with the cloud, you will have unlimited storage. You can store all the presets you want on the cloud platform. Unlimited storage for you. So I think it could be a good extension in terms of storage, and you could use it as a backup platform too.
And let's make it more practical. You're going live, and you were at your practicing room or something, or at the studio, and you just have to access. You can have access to the internet, basically.
Okay, you will have
Download all your 100 programs in a short time. That's the good thing. So if you are going to the clubs and you need another set because you have planned a GABA set, but they want a house set, so
yes,
it's easy.
you can store it locally on your computer.
Yeah.
So there is no issue with this. And but I can tell you about another use case. You're on tour, and someone stole your Wofi with your whole sampling stuff inside. You just have to grab another one, plug it to the internet, download your stuff in it, and that's all. And you will have nothing to do except register the machine to your account, and it will synchronize automatically like iCloud with your stuff inside.
So this is the Wofi. Mainly, you do the Kickstarter in October. You said?
Yes. We will start the Kickstarter in October. The price on the Kickstarter will be 600, tax included.
Yeah.
And one of the reward for the early birds on the Kickstarter will be the texturer, the plugin.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first customers on Kickstarter and backer on Kickstarters, we will give away the plugin. And for the other one, the plugin will be 29 euros on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And when it will be released on the market, the Wofi will be more like around 800, tax included. And the plugin will be 49.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan is to start the Kickstarter October during 1 month and deliver the first customers during Q1 24.
Do you plan something on iOS or on mobile devices for the plugin? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Let's see.
Not for the version 1, but yes, for sure we will do something.
The thing is, you told me that the Wofi will be more or less really completely ready for the customers when the Kickstarter launches.
Yeah.
So there is no big hesitating
No,
for waiting the next 3 years of the product.
No.
It's really...
That's why I want to wait until October to start the Kickstarter to make sure people doesn't wait too long. So we will deliver the customers Q1 24 for sure. And to be honest, we are doing the Kickstarter to know how many units we want to produce.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Just the main thing, how many units you will have to produce in the first run, because the first run is always a little bit tricky and a little bit the thing with the biggest fear.
Yeah.
So if you got the first batch ready, and you know this so pretty well nowadays.
and now it's maybe the time to talk about Manatee.
Yeah.
Because it's a nice thing, and you have worked on it a lot recently. There's a lot of pictures and a lot of imaging and stuff. And maybe how is it going with software and stuff? You already had something with us. You can still watch it. And what happened to the Manatee synth? Maybe you have it with you and can.
Yes, I do. I can pick it up and I can show it to you. I don't know if it works on the camera. This is like not the current hardware. It's the revision before, so it's the one I actually showed on the SequencerTalk together. Yeah? So has not moved much on this side. The current pre-series is in production. So what I've been doing in the last week is I worked a bit on the communication of the machine, because this is my personal project basically. So I'm alone on that since now like 3 years. And I first made a presentation of the concept. It was last Superbooth, if I remember that. Things have changed a lot since because like I had plenty of feedback from the.
Let's talk about that. What has changed?
Yeah.
Well, quite a lot, because this project is basically, well, a research project for me, because it's a lot of experimentation. I want to get digital sound right, and I want to provide something that is not common and not overdone many, many, many times. So spectral synthesis was like the main topic. I experimented a lot, and what I presented at the last Super Booth in terms of sound was good, but the user interface concept and the way you interact with the machine was clearly not thought through. So, well, it went over another year of like trying and prototyping until I get to a point where I can say like it actually makes sense not only to have this technology but present it this way so that it can be musically useful, like, and enjoyable.
Yeah, cool. And when will be the Manatee available?
So the Manatee right now is in pre-production, meaning like the hardware is final. I'm making a pre-series of 10 machines. These machines will go to sound designers and quality tester. Software is not yet finished. All the audio stuff is working, but there's a lot to do on things that we don't think about too much, but which are very important, which are like MIDI implementation, clocking, transferring of the preset. And so it's a more traditional machine in comparison to the Wofi, because like we are kept the basics, meaning like pure MIDI, but the MIDI has to be like pristine, meaning like reacts very fast, always in sync, like works with all the different sequencers, because this machine is basically meant to be a companion to like all the interesting generative sequencer we have today. Will be also MPE compatible, so that you can use with like advanced controllers. So I'm working on that. So this needs a bit of time. But the Kickstarter will start in 32 days, if I'm not mistaken, meaning like 13th of June. So right now, the focus of my work is like providing demos and contents, because I opened the webpage. You can check it out at manateewave.com or fredslab.net/manatee. But there's only right now the specification, the final render of the prototype. So as soon as I get the unit, the fresh one will be updated with photos for the real gear. And then the audio example, people are waiting for audio, and I understand them.
So we did a talk with both of you separately, and yeah, basically that's it for the main part. How you feel about the near future? Do you plan already the next Wofi Mark II or a companion? Is there something in?
We have a lot of we have a lot of ideas. And to explain the strategy, Kiviak Instrument will sell hardware like Wofi, software like plugins, and cloud platforms. So the MyWofi cloud platform is a start, but we will add a lot of more feature on the cloud platform. Maybe some stuff to generate some audio directly from the cloud and synchronizing with your Wofi. And we will develop a lot of more plugin too. And yes, for sure, we have a lot of idea. We recruit new people at the company with new competencies, like AI or stuff like that. So we have a lot of things.
You can talk to the instrument then, or what could it be there, or do you really want to talk about what kind of stuff? Maybe the next thing could be a synthesizer, or
It's too soon to talk about that.
A good thing.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Drum machines.
drum machine.
We have this common
Why not?
reoccurring joke in asking everybody about when will the new drum machine will come.
Or Groovebox.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the sun is burning and these
Yeah.
guys are starting to sweat. So we will let you go into the shades of the.
Thank you guys
FNZ,
for everything.
and
Thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure to be here with
we
you.
will see you soon, I think.
We'll be back for sure.
And thanks for supporting the
Thank
talk.
you.
And thank you for your time, both of you.
You're welcome.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.